Hello and greetings everyone, I'm Torek and welcome to my guide for Paglth'an. This dungeon was released with patch 5.5 and is unlocked through the main story quest, like the other Shadowbringer dungeons. It requires an item level of 490 to enter. After a lengthy opening cutscene, we're finally ready to start the dungeon. Let's get to it. For the first pull, you can pull the first two groups together even with the trusts, but if you are with the trusts, you'll need to be heavy on cooldowns because Urianger has a bit of trouble keeping up. You also need to watch the odd mob or two because sometimes they get lost going around the corner. The big mob here is the Lesser Tello Dragon. You'll want to watch out for its large front conal AoE called Engulfing Flames. So if you're tanking, you'll want to watch the direction it's facing so you don't aim at the party. The other mob to note is the Tello Verve, which has a rear conal AoE to watch out for. Next set of mobs, you can also pull both sets, but again, cooldowns are a must to stay alive. Alright, finally to the first boss. First thing you'll notice if you've done Coil is this boss is similar to the boss from turn 10. The first mechanic is Critical Rip, which is a tank buster. Then the boss will jump to the outside and begin casting Lightning Bolt. At the same time, each player will get a Lightning Rod debuff, which needs to be transferred to one of the poles on the outside of the arena. If you fail to transfer it, you will receive Lightning Magic vulnerability up. After the cast finishes, the boss will cast Electric Burst, which is a raid-wide AoE. Thundercall will summon orbs, which will begin to pulse in a circle around them. The bigger ones have a larger radius. Avoid standing in these. If you get hit, you'll receive vulnerability stacks for each pulse you're hit with. Next is Wide Blaster, a large conal AoE from the front followed up by Spike Flail, a smaller conal AoE out from behind the boss. The boss will start to repeat mechanics after this, so just keep up the DPS until it's dead. The next trash pull, you can only pull 2 sets. There's a wall blocking the path. Notable mobs here are the Tello Brobignac, which has a circle AoE, and the Reaper, which also has a circle AoE. Around the next corner will be 2 mobs, just tag them and keep going to the next wall. The 2 dragons are a bit annoying. They have circle AoE and large conal AoE, so keep on your toes. After the wall crumbles, it's on to the second boss. First thing to note is straight ahead, there are 3 cannons. Keep an eye on those, you'll need to move to avoid the beams from them. Second thing to note is the actual boss is up on top of the cannons and is surrounded by a shield. So this is more of a DPS check, because as soon as you kill the mobs, a jump will appear to get to the actual boss. The mobs don't do anything special. If you take a while to kill the mobs, because you know the trusts are slow, missiles will also appear around the outside, so keep an eye out and just dodge them. Around 50% the shield will go back up and you'll have to kill more stuff down below again. This time a Colossus will spawn with 2 sky armors. These will do AoE circles and the Colossus will do a line AoE from the front, so it's just adding more dodging to do. Burn these down, watch for the cannons and missiles, and then finish off the boss. There's only 1 pack here. So these next 2 sets are kind of big and bulky, so while it's possible to pull them together, you might not want to, especially with the trusts. A re-injure had me nervous at parts. I was so low, even with rotating cooldowns, so unless you can coordinate with your healer, it might be better to do one at a time. Watch out for the Divebomb when you go for the second set. Even with other players, this pull took a bit. After the last mob dies, you'll get a cutscene, and then onward to the last boss. First up is Twisted Scream, which small AoE circles appear. You'll want to watch the order they appear in, because purple nails will appear, which create a large circle AoE you'll want to avoid being in. If you're hit, you'll get a vuln stack. Paglth'an Breath is a conal AoE the boss can turn to cast this, so keep an eye out. Akmorn is a stack with multiple hits, so you'll want to remain stacked for all the hits. It's possible to survive without all 4 players, but it hurts a lot. Next up is Gigaflare, which is spread markers, so don't be on top of anyone. It'll leave a puddle under you, so you'll want to move out as soon as the damage goes out, before the puddle explodes. Twisted Scream again, this time though the boss will jump and do a Divebomb across the middle, so you'll have to dodge the nails but also the Divebomb at the same time. Next up is Rhai, which is a plus-shaped marker. If you get it, you'll want to move away from other players and move out of it quickly. If you stand in any part of the plus, you'll take damage even if the marker wasn't on you. Lunar Flare causes the floor to turn into overlapping purple AoE markers that will begin to shrink. You'll want to watch for the safe spot to open up. There's 2 patterns. This one, the middle, is safe. Gigaflare is just raid-wide AoE damage. Akmorn again. Twisted Scream again is the same as before. Lunar Flare again. This time the safe spot is the sides. Another Rhai, but this time on 2 people, and at the same time as that, Paglth'an is also going out, which is a tank buster. Just keep up the DPS and finish it off. And that's the dungeon. If you enjoyed the guide, please drop a like and comment. You can also let me know what you want to see more of from my channel. Thanks for watching.